The alarm shattered the silence of the firehouse, sending Ethan Walsh into action before he was fully awake. He had done this 100 times before, throwing on his gear, grabbing his helmet, and running for the truck. "Warehouse fire, industrial district, 5-man entry," the dispatcher's voice crackled over the radio. Ethan shot a glance at his team, Jake, Ryan, Ben, and Charlie. Charlie was the newest, a rookie with wide eyes and a nervous smile. "You ready for this, kid?" Ethan asked as the truck rumbled to life. Charlie nodded, though his grip on his helmet was tight. Yeah, I'm ready." As they sped through the city, the warehouse loomed in the distance, flames already devouring its structure, thick black smoke curling into the night sky. Ethan felt a familiar tightness in his chest. Fires like this didn't leave room for mistakes. When they arrived, Captain Davis barked out orders. "Walsh, you and your team, entry and search, make it quick." Ethan gave a nod and led his team into the inferno. Inside, the fire roared like a living beast, consuming everything in its path. Debris fell from above, sending embers swirling through the air like fireflies. "Stay close!" Ethan yelled over the crackling flames. They moved in formation, sweeping through the vast space in search of survivors. Somewhere in the distance, a steel beam collapsed with a deafening crash. Ethan counted heads: Jake, Ryan, Ben, and Charlie, bringing up the rear, his flashlight darting nervously across the smoke-filled corridors. The deeper they went, the stranger it felt. The fire seemed almost too quiet, the usual chaotic destruction muted in an unsettling way. And then, they heard it. A voice. "Help me!" Charlie stopped dead. "Did you hear that?" Ethan's stomach dropped. "We got movement." They pressed forward, but every room they checked was empty. The voice came again, distant and hollow. "Please, help." Charlie's breathing grew ragged. "Where's it coming from?" Ethan gritted his teeth. "Keep moving, we're running out of time." Suddenly, a burst of flames shot down from above, forcing them to retreat toward the exit. "Everyone out! Move, now!" They ran. Smoke blurred their vision, the heat closing in, but they could see the exit just ahead, safety within reach. But when they made it outside, Ethan turned to count his men. 1, 2, 3, 4. Charlie wasn't with them. Ethan's blood ran cold. "Where's Charlie?" The others looked around, confusion on their faces. Jake swore under his breath, his eyes wide. "He was right behind me." Ethan's head snapped toward the accountability board by the truck, where they tracked firefighter locations. The board still showed 5 inside, but they were all standing outside, all except Charlie. Frantic, Ethan and Jake went back inside, calling Charlie's name over the radio. Static. No voice, just an eerie crackle of white noise that didn't belong. They searched every room they had passed through. No sign of him, no turnout gear, no helmet, nothing. It was like he had vanished into the smoke, and then, over the radio, they heard it. A whisper. "Ethan, I'm still here." Jake's face drained of color. "Did you hear that?" Ethan's fingers tightened around the radio. "Charlie, where are you?" Static. Then the voice again, weaker this time. "Come back." The captain's voice cut through their radios, ordering them to evacuate before the structure collapsed completely. With heavy hearts, they had no choice but to retreat. In the aftermath, the official report listed Charlie as missing in action. They never found his body. Not a trace. Ethan couldn't sleep after that. Charlie's voice echoed in his head, over and over. The guilt weighed heavily, gnawing at him in the dead of night. He should have done more. Days turned into weeks, and the whispers didn't stop. Late at night, alone in the firehouse, Ethan swore he heard static coming from the radio. The others dismissed it as malfunctioning equipment, but Ethan knew better. One night, unable to resist, he answered. "Charlie?" Silence. Then, softly, "You left me." Ethan dropped the radio, his heart pounding. Months later, a fire broke out at an abandoned house on the other side of the city. Another routine call, or so they thought. When Ethan arrived on scene, his blood ran cold. Near the burned-out frame of the building, half buried in the ash, lay a firefighter's helmet. It was Charlie's, pristine, no scorch marks, as if it had just been placed there. Jake picked it up with shaking hands. How the hell did it get here? No one had an answer. Later, when the fire investigator reviewed security footage, they saw something chilling. Before the fire started, a figure could be seen standing in the house's window. A firefighter, staring directly into the camera. The timestamp read 11:45 p.m. The exact time Charlie had gone missing in the warehouse fire months ago. Ethan couldn't let it go. He dove into the case, desperate for answers. What he found disturbed him even more. Other firefighters from different cities had gone missing under similar circumstances, their gear turning up miles away from the original fires. He began to wonder, was something inside the fire taking them? His dreams were haunted by images of Charlie standing in the flames, his eyes empty, his voice whispering from the smoke. And then, the final call came. Another fire, this time an abandoned factory. The crew moved in fast, but as soon as Ethan stepped inside, he froze. There, hanging on a chair in the middle of the burned-out floor, was Charlie's turnout coat. Untouched, clean, waiting. Then the voice crackled through his radio again. "Come back, Ethan." He staggered back, a suffocating pressure settling over his chest. His flashlight flickered, and in the smoke, he saw movement. A shadow. Charlie, standing just beyond the flames, watching him. Ethan turned and ran, crashing through the debris, barely escaping as the fire swallowed the building whole. The factory burned to the ground, but Charlie's coat and helmet were never recovered. Ethan left the fire department soon after. But the whispers never stopped. Late at night, when he sat alone in his apartment, his radio, turned off, would sometimes crackle to life. And in the static, he'd hear it, soft, faint. "I'm still here." Ethan never answered again, but deep down, he knew. Some fires never go out. Some ghosts never leave.